up to another good morning. Time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Life
podcast.
On this podcast, we dive into mindset, habits, wellness, lifestyle change. I'll talk about a lot of different things.
Me too.
And last week we talked about the 5-second rule. Jessie, have you utilized the 5-second rule as of late? I know I've just been using it with the cold showers, but
I've been using it with a lot of things, but there has been specific examples recently where I have just like jumped into this methodology. One being I booked a random Cyber Monday trip to Jamaica, which wasn't necessarily on my list of places that I was planning on visiting in 2022. But Bryan and I are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and we're also both turning 40 this year.
I wasn't really, when I pictured our 10-year wedding anniversary, I wasn't really picturing Jamaica. So it should have been 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, call Bryan and get his input before.
Well, this is actually really ironic because I'm usually like a planner, researcher. If I book a trip or I do something, like I, look at thousands of websites and I read reviews and I'm really intentional about what I'm planning. And I was actually looking up a different vacation, and then this like deal from Sandals Resort popped up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just like booked it on a whim and, asked questions later. And, now it has its own, like you walk out and you get to sit on a beach and there's nothing to do. You don't leave the resort. So he stuck with me for 4 nights and we're just going to, hang on a beach.
In Jamaica.
Where it's warm.
I feel like we're like 20-year-old spring breakers. That's what I feel like.
I feel like, whatever. Listen, you never know.
Beach.
It's a beach and you might be pleasantly surprised.
Yes. Nothing against Jamaica.
No, at all.
No. I just wasn't.
No, that just wasn't on our list.
That's wasn't what I was visioning.
It's all right. It's all right. We're just going to go with the flow on this one.
Oh, man. So exciting news. Hopefully when this airs or a few days after, we will finally be launching the 3x5 Life system. Just real quick, what is in that is it comes with this carrying case, a box, which basically we wanted something that it's a legacy of your life. That one container carries a year of cards that you can reflect back on generations in the future. Your grandkids could reflect back on or see what you were doing in a moment of time. Mm-hmm. So obviously it has a daily cards. It has a habit tracker cards. It has your, people will be able to read through if they wanted to your weekly reviews and your goals for that year. And then we also did kind of like a mini course to go through like best practices, how best to utilize the system and breaking down each card. They're just short little videos that go along with the product. So hopefully that launches this week.
It's going to launch this week.
I know it's been a long time coming.
It has.
There's a lot of like little nuances that go into kicking something like this off. So making
sure that it's what we want to put out in the world.
Yes.
It's definitely important.
Exactly. So this week we want to talk a little bit about goal setting. So I did this practice recently and I found it very powerful. So it's an exercise that Dan Sullivan, who is the founder of Strategic Coach, I'm sure many of you have heard of him. He has this practice. So instead of just going ahead and just planning your goals out for the year, he says, imagine it's 1 year from today and you reflect back over the past year and you realize it was the best year of your life. What does that look like? What would have had to have happened? Why are you waking up every day on fire? So I did that, a week ago, answered that question. And instead of just being at the end of the year, I have a big like goal planning day, if you will. Jessie loves I leave the house. Yes. Some Bryan time. And I plot out the year ahead, but I'm kind of forward facing, like this is what I want to accomplish. And for me, I do it in the different buckets of life. And I kind of outline the big goals and then I break them down into like monthly and quarterly goals. But it's interesting when you sit there and you're like, okay, if it was the 1 year from today and it was the best year of my life, what would have had to have happened? And you can pull some different themes from that.
Mm-hmm. And I think being really specific too, like it's really easy to be very general when you have that prompt, but the more specific you are when you're envisioning what that feels like when you're celebrating. What are those specific things that you're celebrating?
Right.
And I think then, I mean, that's the idea of visualization too, visualizing what you want to accomplish in that year. But like you said, the emotion behind how you feel,
Yes.
but then also thinking about the everyday like habits and things that you would need to put into place in order for that to actually come to fruition.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I thought when I personally did it. I didn't realize that at the end of it, the emotions that were going to come of it weren't like, I don't know. If I did this 3 years ago, I think I would have had very specific things that I wanted to come out of the year. But for me this year, it was more of a feeling. It was more of, like calm contentment, how I wanted to feel at the end of the year because of how my habits were in 2022, more than just like, some marathon or some dollar amount in sales or something like that. So that's what I found was very interesting from this whole habit. So
I use this prompt when I work with whoever I'm working with, when I do, professional development, whatever it is. And it's strategic in that it is a future facing question. So usually when I choreograph this type of conversation, you look at, past, present, and then future.
right.
So past is, what are some things that, or like, when did you feel your best? Or when was the time that you were in alignment with your goals? Or what were some of the practices you were doing? That present question is, right now, what is something that you can do to help yourself feel like that again? But the future facing question is the money, because that's the one where you're visualizing what you are celebrating. And then, like I said, that specific question, you need to give yourself time to answer that.
Yes.
Like, that's not just like I'm going to ask this question, I'm going to come up with the first response. So I would even like set a timer. I do this in these professional developments for like 5-10 minutes, and just allow yourself to free write as if you're like writing a story about that feeling and about what you have accomplished in that year. And I think through that free write, you'll be able to pull out some really specific themes to help answer that question.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a fantastic point, because if you do this now, and that's why I wanted to do this now compared to the end of the year, then you just can marinate on those feelings that come up and those ideas that come up over the next 2 weeks before you do your New Year's resolution goals. And it really will drive those goals. But instead of doing this exercise the day before you do your goals or the day of doing your goals, it's really nice to have it done now. So then it just gives you time to just contemplate. I personally did it in different areas of my life. So I did it in where's 3x5 life in 1 year from now? Where's my other, business or two 1 year from now? Where's my relationship with Jessie, 1 year from now, and with the kids? And so I kind of chunked it down to be really specific about how I felt in those different areas.
So we can look at this from a community standpoint as like a pre-writing exercise, or kind of like a process before you set your goals. And then we can use this when we'll do a goal setting podcast. That was one of our plans. We can utilize that information to help you be strategic in how are you setting up habits and goals, and what that looks like for the year to come.
Yeah, exactly. So try answering the question. I will put the actual verbiage in the show notes. Is verbiage the right word there? Verbiage in the show notes. So you can kind of read through it, have it there in front of you while you're doing this exercise. But until next week.
Enjoy your have a great.
Pre-Christmas.
It is like
we're
getting close.
Yeah, we're 10.
Close. Try to not let the stress and overwhelm of the 9,000 things on your to-do list take over the magic of like the present right now. And just try to sink into it.
We just gave them one more thing for their to-do list.
Them? I know we did. Yeah. But this is a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. This one matters. Not those other things. Not shopping for grandma.
Stop that. All right. Have a good one. We'll see you later.
Hello world, wake me up to another good morning, time to go. Oh, we are all